to the Muzzle Break podcast. I'm Josh, your host, and today we got a special episode. We've got my co-host Brian and our lovely guest Kim Jenkins. She is from the Gladiator Guns Training Group. You can find her as Kim Kamikaze 86 on Instagram. She is coming out this summer in July to do a all-female CCW training for us. We're really excited to have her. So, Kim, if you'd like to introduce yourself, where your background is from, and what you plan on doing here for us in the middle of the summer.
I am KJ. Some of you know me as your favorite firearms instructor. At the end of the day, I am a civilian. I decided about 15 years ago that I wanted to learn about firearms, and it's been something that's just grown from there. I've been instructing for the past 6 years. I'm based out of Texas, but I travel throughout the country. It's actually funny that I'm going to end up back in Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania is my hometown. Super excited to get out to Griffin Arms and teach the ladies. So it's going to be a 2-day training. Saturday kind of starts you from the ground floor, right? We teach you about firearms, the different kinds of firearms, how to actually shoot them. We go through safety, we go through fundamentals, we go through just best practices and things that I've learned over the years as a woman on how to better manipulate the firearm. The goal is for the ladies to get a lot of good quality reps. So we're going to do dry fire, we're going to do live fire. By the end of day 1, these ladies are going to be putting some very good shots down range. Day 2, we come back, and then we get into concealed carry. We talk about different ways that women are able to conceal today. I mean, I think we just have a lot of options. So I'm going to help narrow it down and make sense of some things for them. We'll talk about some legal ramifications. We'll get into that a little bit. But ultimately, we're getting the women exposed to the firearms in a 2-day inclusive weekend. I'm super excited to get out there. And this is just the start.
You're really passionate about getting the information and getting the practice time in. Like, I watch you online practice a ton, and that like speaks volumes of a trainer, that they're not just happy to go home, either to work their job and then to go home every week and just say, I did my job or whatever. Like, this is truly a passion for you, right? You're coming from a background of, a civilian background, but you're really, really passionate and you're really, really skilled. Like, I encourage people to go and see your 30-second, 1-minute little tutorials that you do, which I think is great. You're doing like an awesome job with that kind of stuff. And this whole idea of, women's empowerment in the 2A community is like a really interesting paradigm shift, because like what you're talking about is like true women's empowerment, where you're going out and you're doing things, improving your competence. That's the great thing about firearms, is like anybody can pick them up. It doesn't matter what your gender is. It doesn't matter your age. It is simply a skill of diminishing return. So like if you don't go out and practice, if you don't go out and do that kind of stuff, you're not going to have a good result. And like, you've really put in the time, and I really, really respect that. And I think a lot of people are going to know you in a big way here shortly. I really appreciate the things that you're doing for the 2A community, and especially for the focused on the female. But you don't just do female training like that. That's the other thing. Why don't you talk to us about that a little bit?
I train any and everyone. So with Gladiator Guns, we train civilians, we train law enforcement, we train military. Anyone who wants to get a little more, information, and who wants to really learn how to run their firearms and all that comes with it. Now, I just happen to be a woman, and for a lot of women, they just want someone who looks like them, right? And I think that my overall delivery, while I'm saying the same thing, right? We're talking fundamentals, we're talking sight alignment and sight picture. What I'm saying is not different, but my delivery is going to be a little bit different. I just think about how I would explain this to my girlfriend, right? Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I will have a little bit of compassion where that's, needed. We'll crack jokes where that's needed, but it's all ultimately about just getting the women comfortable. And so for some women, seeing someone like me and kind of seeing my journey on my social media pages makes them feel much more comfortable. So I'll take, what I can get. I just want as many people trained as possible.
I mean, I think that's the big thing with our community, is the fact that, firearms are the great equalizer. So like when we're not being inclusive with people that have the desire and the ability to come out and practice their skills, we're really doing ourselves more harm than good. And you guys are really, you specifically are doing a really good job in kind of wrapping your arms around this segment of women that might have fallen through the cracks like 30, 40 years ago. You know what I mean? Whereas now we see lots more people, women interested in the firearms community, and they want to find their place, in that. And like this umbrella is way bigger than just guys, LARPing out on the range in their plate carriers. Can you go into kind of like what got you interested in firearms more
Sure.
specifically? I know you kind of said that you gave a time frame of when you were interested, but like, can you go back and just revisit that journey for us just a little bit?
A couple years ago, a family friend of mine I believe he still may be a Philadelphia detective. And I was like, please, please, please take me to the range. One, because I didn't even know that it was something that I, as a civilian, could just do on my own, provided I kind of checked the box of being a certain age and being, with no criminal record and things of that nature. So I didn't even know that I could have just gone by myself. But I did. I went with someone who was knowledgeable. He put me on a Glock 17. We were shooting in an indoor static range, and the rest was history from there. So once I found out that I was able to actually go and train on my own, I'm the type of person where if I start doing something, I go with it 100%, and I want to know as much about it as I can. So from there, I just would go to the range fairly regularly, right? I didn't really know what I was doing because there wasn't a lot of resources back then. So a lot of my initial training was from, I'm not trying to say this without being shady, but some of the fuzz at the range who shoot revolvers, and they're making recommendations to me as a woman, and it's a gun that they wouldn't even, shoot. So as soon as I was 21, I went out and bought a firearm that someone suggested to me. I still have it. It's not my favorite. And continued, from there. I made a lot of mistakes early on with not a lot of guidance. At one point, I wanted to disassemble my firearm to clean it, which is a part of the process of being a responsible, firearm owner. But again, I couldn't just go on YouTube and have somebody break it down for me in a way, well, that quickly for one, because it wasn't even that big. So I found myself putting my gun in a box and under the bed, and I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to go back to that bud, gave me the gun, and say, hey, I need you to really break this, down for me. And that's a feeling that I don't want any person, but more so any woman to go through. And just, I don't want them to ever feel like there's a question that's stupid, right? Like there's something that they shouldn't ask. If you don't know, you don't know. It's a firearm, right? It's not a piece of paper or something, super simple. This is a tool, but it's a tool that, can change lives. And so you want to know as much as you can about it. So from then, found different companies to train with that are kind of obsolete now. Trained through the NRA, trained through the USCCA, trained through, certified through the state of Texas as well as a firearm instructor. And I just continued to grow and to learn and sought out as many resources as I possibly could. And it's made me the person that I am today. And if I had the information that I had now way back then, it wouldn't have taken me nearly as long. And so that's how I want to be a resource for anybody who's looking to learn and just get better at firearms in general and protecting themselves.
Yeah, so I think that you have a pretty common experience as far as people will get involved in firearms and they'll not necessarily know what to do, but they'll have an uncle or they'll have somebody close that has a gun, but that doesn't, the possession doesn't equal the proficiency, right? Like,
Correct.
So just because you have something doesn't mean that you can actually use that thing in the way that it was intended, right? Like, so you said the NRA and the USPCA or the IS, whatever. There's all these like different letters and stuff like that, and everybody's either shooting for proficiency of a course, or they're shooting for to play a game or something like that, and that's not what we're about here at Griffin Arms, about training people. We're about training people to save their lives, and like you, we've watched how you conduct yourself online and whatnot, and that's your goal too. Like I know that I think you shoot some matches and things like that, and that's fine to play games at points, but what we're talking about is a very, very different and I would say even in the last 20 years, something that's emerging. And women in the firearms industry, I don't think is much far behind that, personal defense in the industry. So, but it's cool to watch, you and some of the other female instructors that are rising up in the ranks here really put in the time and the work. And how do you feel that you're being received with your male counterparts in the industry? You can talk a little bit right now if you need to, but like I think most people, especially like in our age demographic, not the boomer age demographic, and probably half of the you're not a boomer, Peter. You're not, like, you're right on the edge, man. You're Gen X. When were you born?
73.
Oh, 73. Okay. All right. So, but he's not in the boomer category, but I would say like half the Gen Xers would fall in the boomer category, where they're like, oh, women need revolvers and blah, 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 and all that bullshit, which I think revolvers have their place, but they're definitely not the first thing that you should go and introduce somebody to, because they can be the most frustrating thing. So,
Absolutely.
how do you feel as though you've been received though with your male counterparts? Can you kind of talk about that? Like, has that been a warming experience, or has that been an off-putting experience?
Well, I'll say, like, I don't come in and they're like, boo, get out of here, woman. Like, it's never like that, right? Everyone chose to be at the class, so everyone is respectful. What I do find is that kind of early on, right, it just takes a second for everybody to warm up, and everyone's sizing each other up. And then they see me, and I've got the gear, I've got the gun, and I'm just kind of like, let's go. Not timid or anything like that. I'm confident. I know how to shoot, but I'm clearly there to learn something. So, you get through the first, initial assessment that most classes have, when it's not super foundational. You get through those, and then they're like, oh crap, like she can actually, shoot. And just
Yeah.
as the day evolves, right, the respect kind of grows. And then there gets to be a point where they really see me moving, because a lot of classes, they do like the culmination drill, right? Like it builds upon
Yeah.
things. And then that's where I'm just like running, Ricky Bobby, all gas, no brakes, with control. And they're like, okay, I will take any class that you're taking, going forward. They'll follow me, they'll
Yeah.
ask me questions, which is really cool. I think that's the biggest compliment that I'll say a male counterpart can actually pay me, is to ask me questions about gear, or about a platform, or about a specific gun or something like that. And so that's kind of been how things have been, lately, as my, following has grown, and as my content continues to expand. Because, like, I'm not like in a box. I do a little bit of everything, and I think that pulling from all of these different aspects just makes me a well-rounded shooter.
How long have you been with Gladiator Guns as a trainer?
I believe year 5.
Is this your first stint on going on the road this year, or is this the first
This year,
round of
yeah.
classes that you'll be doing? Okay, what do you envision
Yeah.
KJ doing, like, I guess in the next couple of years, like as far as your training goes, and like the things that you would love to offer?
I'm fortunate with what I do, like in the daytime, like for my career. I'm a contractor, so I can kind of pick and choose my hours, and it's very flexible. So I can technically do the firearms instructing full time based on how my contracting role works. I'll do firearms as much as it makes sense. I don't want to do too much, because I don't want to lose my passion for it, and wanting to travel and wanting to go, here and there. So I have to figure out how to balance. But ultimately, yeah, I would love to do pistol. I would love to do rifle. Rifle is my favorite platform for so many reasons. But I know that women have a lot of fun with rifles. It's something, again, that's in their house. It's something that I would love to get them comfortable with, and anyone. So through Gladiator Guns, we do a lot of different classes. We do pistol, carbine, we do low light, no light, we do diminished environment, CPD. So there's a lot of things out there that we offer. So, we'll continue to, cultivate this relationship. I'm super excited to get out there. I love when things kind of just work out just the way that I met you guys. So I know it's like it's supposed to be. I'm just, going with things that naturally progress, and that's what this has done, and I'm excited.
What's your favorite class that you've taken from another instructor at this point?
A combatives class with Hill Country Combatives. He's actually a great friend of ours. We work with him every year with our annual event. And then another one would a stop the bleed class, so where they work in a lot of the first aid and medical attention. It was very, eye opening. So I definitely like those two. Of course, there was firearms in both of them, but it wasn't firearms centered more so. It was another piece of firearms.
That's one thing that we found with our classes is that we mix in the medical side of things. I think a lot of people are after that. Are there any classes that you're taking this year that you're looking forward to, or are you going to be on the road for quite a bit of it?
Yeah, for the next couple of months. There's an MP5 class that I love taking. I took it a couple years ago out in Dallas, and I miss seeing those guys, but I think it was just more the exposure and the different backgrounds that everyone came from, and just seeing what people prioritize when they build their guns. So I think I learned a lot. And again, it was just a very inviting group. So that's one that I might try to get to again. And then I want to shoot a few more competitions as well. So if I can get, 3 more of those in this year. But I'd love to do some sort of longer distance carbine, scope carbine or something like that. So if I find something, I'll get on the plane and go anywhere.
You definitely need to go up and talk to the guys up at Thunder Ranch up in Oregon. They do a mid-range and a long-range rifle that's really, really awesome. I know that we're kind of running short on time with you. Is there anything that you want to talk to your future class here, as they're probably going to be watching this episode and interested in what you have to say?
I'll say this is the class that you've been waiting for. This is going to be 2 days of information, of networking, of girl time, of self-care, and hopefully from there you're really going to have the motivation and also tools and more information and data points to make the best decision for you. You don't have to take and shoot the gun that someone else gives you. You can find the firearm that works best for you. You can find the way to carry that works best for you without compromising your femininity. Like, I love having my stomach out. So if I can find something where I can wear crop top and still carry a firearm, then that's what I'm going to do. And so we'll go over those best practices. But this isn't a class that's being offered anywhere else except for Texas, right now, and a few other places. So I say get in on it now because, like Josh says, this is something that I really see growing. This is my baby. And as it grows, these classes are going to continue to sell out. And you don't want to miss it. So...
Do you have any questions for? I know you had to go and take care of the sales floor while we were talking. So I know Brian's always got good questions for us.
Favorite concealed carried weapon?
Well, I can conceal carry a full size firearm. Glock 17C, that's if I can conceal carry, I will. But I'll also carry that as my main gun. That's one that I found a long time ago, and I love it. But I'm working on double stack 1911s. I got one actually that I need to go pick up, and so as long as I can find a holster for it, I'm running that. It's a 4.25-inch barrel, so it's not full size, but it's a nice size firearm.
What is it?
It's the Mac 9. So you remember the video I posted recently?
Oh yeah. The
Mac 9 DS. Great price point to kind of get into. I have a staccato, and that's got its purpose, but this is about $1,000. It gives you a great experience, and if someone's interested in getting into the platform, that's an option. You've got a couple others as well, but I really like that one.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show and talking with us tonight. I hope that you have a good there we go, that's what we're talking about.
I told you about
it. Yeah, that's legit. That's a legit setup. She got the M33 magnifier. That? Yeah, bring that with you.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sure. I gotta go pick up. I'm putting the rugged razor on there. So yeah.
All right. Well, girl. By the time you come out, there's something special that we'll have in the shop that you'll forget about that rugged thing for a while.
Who did the leopard thing?
Red Status Gunworks. So this is actually a local store that I work with. I do a women's night, one night a week, one Friday night a month, and then we do a live fire session. They did it for me. I gave them, their left and right limits. They know I love my leopard, and this is what we came up with, and I think that it's perfect.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
What do you got? What do you got on the top there? No, what do you got on the top there?
My magnifier, my EOTech. This is for my night vision. So this is my more home defense, and then a little light here. I might reconfigure it.
What night vision are you running?
got PBS 31 somewhere around here. You can see my helmet.
We should have done the
there.
interview with you in the with the PBS 31s on the whole time.
We'll do a follow-up with those.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, KJ, for stopping in and talking with us.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you, KJ, for stopping in and talking with us this evening. We're really excited. KJ Kim Kamikaze 86 on Instagram. Go follow her. She is awesome. And then come and do the female CCW course with us this summer in July. I know you missed like 90% of that, Brian. Sorry. But you had to go out and make some sales. What happened out on the sales floor, Brian?
Thought I had a dude to buy that AR. I was like at the counter and I thought I heard him farting. But I, like when you're whatever, and dudes fart, whatever.
Yeah. It happens.
And like
Normal gun
it
store
just kept
stuff.
going like, and I'm like, he's definitely farting. So I acted like I didn't hear it or whatever. And he was like, you guys open on Sunday? And I'm like, no, we're open tomorrow. And he's like, oh, shit. Or I usually work Saturday or Friday night, so I thought it was Sunday. And he was like, I'll be back in. He said tomorrow, and I was like, all right, well, because I thought he was going to buy it.
Yeah.
And then right as we started the podcast, he like came back and he bought the AR, and he's like, I'm gonna be honest, I had to go shit, dude. I'm like, yeah, I heard you farting.
Squeaking shoes around the.
Because I thought it was the shoe at first, and then it kept happening. I'm like, this dude's soiling his underwear.
We'll leave you unnamed customer, but we appreciate your business and we appreciate you not shitting your pants in the sales floor. Oh boy! Last week we had our pistol course with Sonny, and I think that went really well. Peter, he came in and he took it with the rest of the class. What did you think about that, Peter?
I always like them.
Yeah. I think that Sonny and Evan and Christian, they do a great job, and we're excited. At the end of this month, we're gonna have a range day and barbecue. I'm gonna barbecue some smoked pork butt, and we're gonna just have a few hours where you guys can come out, pay $20.
Intro to summer.
Yeah, intro to summer. Pay $20. We're gonna have you run through a little course that we'll have set up, and you guys can eat some sandwiches with us, and just kind of check out the range, check out Griffin Arms, and just kind of have a nice open house type deal on the range. And then we'll have in June, we're going to have a rifle class, a rifle 1. So we're really excited about that. So I guess one of the new things that came into the shop today is the new DPMS kitty cat. Meow.
The kitty cat.
Ooh, yeah. A little hard on all our black t-shirts. We're buying these in bulk now, just plain black t-shirts.
Dude, this thing's like,
it's awesome.
Compact, cool,
7-inch,
like
300 blackout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about the blackout round?
I like it. I like it for certain applications. Did you ever use that when you were overseas? No. You never got issues that.
Yeah.
That was a
green tip 5.56. But
yeah.
I'm 6'5", so if anyone's interested, I'm sure people will be interested in this. And it fits. I mean, it's pretty cool. Comfortable.
Yeah. That's totally retro, like 90s, like SWAT team. That's freaking badass.
Is it now, because they'll get everyone. Peter didn't like the handguard.
I don't like the gun.
Why?
I do, but I don't.
You got all wound up about it. Look, it's even got a bayonet lug. I had some bayonets come in. We could try to see if one of those bayonets would fit on that thing. Can you imagine stabbing somebody with that thing? Be so freaking cool.
And like the old school carrying handle, it's pretty cool. Like, and you can obviously mount an optic with a.
Oh yeah, like one of those little tiny mini Trigicons. Yeah, put that right on top. Ooh, that's awesome. I think people like poo-pooed DPMS for a while, but back in the day, like even when I first started getting into firearms, there was only a few companies out there. There was like Colt, right?
Bushmaster.
There's Bushmaster. DPMS. Oli Arms, Olympic Arms, and those guys all got frog walked out of their offices in shackles. they got a little overzealous with selling suppressors overseas without any like documentation. And then Oli Arms, well, Knight's Armament was out there still too.
Noveski?
But no, Noveski was later. Like I'm talking like early, like I'm talking post Sunset ban. type stuff, you know, early 2004, 2005, when the Sunset ban finally went out. I can remember when ARs were, you know, you a stupid XM2 DPM or a Bushmaster was what, like $1,200, you know, and it was just a regular ribbed, you know, handguard. Like they were getting so much money, and now you can buy that stuff for, you know, we're selling guns for, you know,
$400 or $500.
$500.
Same with the AK-47.
Well, the AKs have kind of flopped, because I can remember, like, back in the day, you know, I'd spend $300 or $400 on an AK. I know people go into my collection, they look at the AKs and they're, whoa, you know, like all that stuff is just appreciated. It wasn't that expensive whenever I bought it back, you know, 10, 15 years ago. So it's just an interesting thing, but I think this is a winner for DPMS. So like, good job. I know that they're, you know, Palmetto now or whatever, but I still think that this was like,
are they? Together?
Yeah, they bought DPMS like not too long ago. So, but I think that this was a great move on their end for the brand, you know, because like DPMS is one of the legacy brands, and I think that this type of firearm for them is awesome. Come into the shop and take a look at that. It's an awesome gun. We just got that.
Did you see that Kash Patel put like a $5 million bounty on the head of the MS-13?
No. When did he do that this week?
It was fairly recently.
You do know that in Peter's phone, you're under MS-13, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know that.
Of my tattoos, yeah. A $5 million bounty on this guy they put out, like, to capture him, to bring him here. Like, where are these people even from?
Nobody knows.
No, they're Mexicans. So, no tattoo work this week?
No.
Oh.
No, I was sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You think you caught
my
that?
kids got me sick.
Oh, it was your kids, not the tattoo
They're
artist.
dirty little filthy germs snotting everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
blowing their nose in their bologna sandwich, and then Daddy, what is this tangy? Is that what kind of mayonnaise are you using?
But I don't even think about it, because like it's just the type of person. Like if my kid's nose is running, I'll just like grab my fingers and go like that on him and like. It's my kid. What do you mean? It's my kid.
Nope.
Don't shake your head at me.
Yeah, Peter, you're no better, Peter. You are no better, buddy.
I'm about to go MS-13 on you.
Yeah.
You'll be in a tortilla bin outside.
Hey, Peter. Lent is over, and we gave you a whole week off.
Yeah.
Tell us.
What'd you give up, Peter?
I didn't give anything up.
You bullshit, Peter. The Pope is rolling in his grave right now. He's mad.
No, I told you I took on more things.
What did you take on?
What'd you take on?
Purity of intentions.
Oh, okay.
Which means
I looked it up so I could explain it. One of the underlying motives to why you do things. I mean, in my job, sometimes, you know, you get screwed and you can screw somebody over and you do it, you know, sales is rough, certain things like that. I don't want to be somebody's evil. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is that you gave up the opportunity to like make a dig on somebody.
That and just things that would stress you out and live rent free in your head and keep you up at night that really didn't matter. You kind of let it go and, you know, do your job, go home and be at peace, you know, with coworkers, upper management, even at, you know, friends, family, just kind of shut your mouth. One of the nuns told me, and it was the best advice I ever had, was just keep your mouth shut. And it's helpful.
So basically, disaster averted because of Lent this year. We stopped you from being the Unabomber, is what you're saying.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to kill. Well, I didn't want to kill anybody.
So you're basically like, in layman's terms, just trying to be a better person.
Right. I mean, I talked to my friend about it the other day, and I'm like, you know, the people that we hate and everything else, you know, somebody loves them as much as, say, we love our wives or our parents. And even though that, you know, they rub us the long way, they're important to somebody else.
I think, you know, Marcus Aurelius talked about it. Everybody walks around with like their own set of problems and things that they build up in their mind, and they're mostly concerned about that throughout the day, as opposed to, you know, like I thought that person was trying to dig on me, or like their intentions were bad on me, and then that gets me into a spiral of like I'm upset at this person because they did me wrong, XYZ thing, when they could be completely oblivious to the fact that they did anything to offend you or to live rent free in your head. You know what I mean? So like, you got to always have the ability to take people where they are and just not take offense to things and build it into a bigger problem, you know, in your own mind, because everybody walks around with this weight in their mind and on their shoulders. So yeah, good for you, Peter. I'm glad that you kept up with that in whatever form that is, and that you didn't send any pipe bombs to any coworkers and or upper managers.
So like, basically what I was saying is like, you're just trying to be a better person.
Well, we're all trying to be a better person, Brian. Jeez.
No, but I mean, some people do things just to like screw somebody else over, and they kind of get off on that. Like, oh, look, I did this, and now, you know, he's embarrassed, or he, you know, lost his job, or, you know,
Whatever. Do, Peter.
Who did you bury, Peter? Jesus,
I didn't do any
Tell
of that.
us where the bodies are.
He's basically saying like he's just trying to be a better person. Like, I don't.
Yeah, but he's saying but like,
don't fuck anybody over. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah. Essentially,
like,
yeah.
Usually people give up like booze or.
But your personality's not that way. Like
porno.
Yeah. You want something.
Porn.
I understand what Peter's saying is that's more of a struggle for some people. For you, Brian, like, just knowing your personality, you probably don't struggle with like needing to figure out how to be underhanded with somebody. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
deals with a lot more people than I do.
Well, yeah, but like, again, your personality doesn't lend to be that way. So
I'm glad that you had a good list.
Yes,
and
yeah.
like,
Well, we gave you a hard time. You were a good sport about it, and like, we can all appreciate you, man. So good job, Peter.
well, thanks. You know what sucks about her coming out here?
Peter, is this appropriate?
Yeah. Like I want to shoot with KJ, but it's all women.
She
I
asked
thought
me.
you were gonna dress up like a girl. Patricia.
Yeah. Jesus, you'd look like an ugly woman. No, she's gonna be out. I think she's gonna come out and hang out with us. Like,
Yeah, I'm
a
sure
couple
she'll
days
want to
before.
shoot.
Yeah, we're gonna do some stuff. Don't worry, Peter. Don't worry. We're all gonna get to shoot. Okay. I think it was just interesting to see, you know, how all this stuff at the Department of Defense is like kind of playing out. You know, with that leaked chat that they were having about the Houthi. I don't know. It's been pretty quiet, which is fine. It's okay. I do think he's doing awesome work, you know, here in the first 100 days. You know, I think that's awesome. But
Today's the day that Bin Laden died.
is it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. You have
14
that like
days ago, or 14 years ago. Operation
14.
Neptune Spear.
Wow, time flies, I guess, when you're having 14.
I always like, because I read the books and shit about it. And
Do you have that like logged into your brain, or is it on your phone like you're like a birthday?
no, I saw it on Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
But I know all about the story.
Yeah. I
Little
knew
supposed
that.
story.
I know
yeah.
that GWAT is a thing that you keep up with just because you know you're involved, and I think I would be more kept up with all those stories if I was involved. You know, see Obama come out and say, I'm like, dang it.
Can you imagine like what he was saying? Like, what's that noise? What's that noise? Sounds like helicopters.
Well, he was like pretty well alerted by that point.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the third floor. Both his brother and his son got smoked already. But I guess I was just surprised that the whole place wasn't rigged to blow.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for this week. We appreciate you guys stopping in and listening to us, and thank you, KJ, once again for talking with us. We're just normal dudes enjoying the gun industry, and we appreciate all the people that do tune in every week. So tell your friends. Thanks. Bye.
Later.